37 Tennessee counties. That's the latest count from state, federal, and local law enforcement who call this a Tennessee emergency, one that's in many cases taxing their resources. They say it all stems from the border crisis.
Tonight, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker is joining us live in the studio after asking what's being done to handle a federal issue impacting our communities. Kylie.
Yeah, Erica, Governor Lee, Senator Bill Hagerty, and our local law enforcement all put their heads together late this afternoon in a roundtable. This trying to get a handle on the rising drug problems and deadly overdoses here at home. They say it's a border problem that's now become a local problem.
In a recent visit to the southern border, Senator Bill Hagerty called it a crisis beyond measure. Now he says he's determined to protect Tennesseans from issues surrounding the border.
It's not just the passage of humans that's coming across the border, it's the passage of drugs. And the passage of drugs, again, has precipitated this epidemic here in America that's being felt in every town, in every city, in every county right here in Tennessee.
Hagerty says this is the biggest issue for every law enforcement person he talks to. Those in Tennessee are strained because of the influx of drugs by cartels taking advantage of overwhelmed Border Patrol agents.
That's actually created this lawlessness that they're having to deal with here. We have drug cartels from Mexico active in 37 counties in Tennessee.
Hagerty says first and foremost, we need to keep Title 42 in place, predicting we'll have a surge of migrants and more drugs if we don't. The Biden administration says it will end Title 42 on May 23rd, which kept migrants from entering the U.S. during the COVID-19 health crisis. And we asked Governor Bill Lee if he's planning to use any of our state resources to help local law enforcement deal with what started as a federal issue.
Well, we've proposed in our budget funding for crime intervention grants, a significant amount. We'll see where that funding ends up as the budget is finalized, but as we told the law enforcement officials in there today, that's what we can do at the state level is support their efforts to fight criminal activity in their communities.
Governor Lee says the state is working to build a border strike force with a number of other governors to handle local problems, this all caused by the border crisis. Now, coming up a little later in this newscast, I'm going to show you how Customs and Border Protection here in Tennessee is intercepting drugs flowing in from the border.
Renters are outraged because they say they've had to throw out thousands of dollars worth of personal belongings, and they say management isn't doing anything about it. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us from inside one of the Vintage Station North apartments with more tonight. Caitlin.
Imagine living in an apartment that's been infested with bugs for over a month now. We can see the bugs all over this washer and dryer. And this tenant that we spoke with has had to throw out all her clothes in this room, along with a lot of other personal belongings.
These beetles have overtaken Brittany Moore's unit at the Vintage Station North Apartments in Mount Juliet. The only room not infested, her bedroom.
So I only stayed in my bedroom. I laid in bed all day, every day. I stayed up for 2 days. I slept 4 hours. It was terrible. I cried all day.
But then, this week, the bugs found their way here, her bedroom too. Moore says this problem has been going on for over a month, and she says working with management has been a nightmare.
Basically told me that I was lying and that they didn't want me to reach out, that I was being a nuisance to them.
I called the leasing manager who told me they wouldn't talk to reporters and directed me to Bluestone Property Management and their attorney who would not make a comment at this time.
This will be squashed today.
Moore says management showed up to her apartment a few times with pest control, but she says they were rude. Tenant Joe Jarima says his apartment is also infested and says today was the first day he heard back from management.
We were called today by management and offered a $15 credit. So a $15 credit for a month long's worth of stress and anxiety and an apartment filled with bugs. This is from a day of having it on, and it's kind of gross.
Jarima says after several calls to apartment management, this offer of just $15 pales in comparison to the thousands of dollars in damage the bugs have caused.
And they also crawl down here to the bottom of the bathtub.
And Moore says it's not just about the money.
I'm terrified to come in here. I don't come in here unless I wear shoes.
Because of this bug infestation, tenants are finally packing up their boxes and getting ready to move out.
A well-respected longtime Nashville pastor has an idea he thinks could solve our homeless crisis, using Old Hillwood High School for housing.
How about that? As you know, community members have been pleading with city leaders in Nashville to provide short-term housing with wraparound services to get our homeless population the help that they truly need. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen is live in Belle Meade. Amanda telling us more about Reverend Fuzz's idea he's come up with. A good one.
Stacy, yes, Brookmead Park is just 3 miles down the road from where I'm standing here at Hillwood High School. And one longtime pastor says we should be looking to use this location to help house the homeless.
Reverend Enoch Fuzz has been in Nashville for over 45 years and has watched the homeless community grow dramatically.
How is it that Nashville avoid the homeless and the hungry?
He's driven past Brookmead Park's homeless encampment many times, but one day when leaving Walmart headed to Green Hills, he passed Hillwood High School in Belle Meade, and a light bulb went off.
I said, wow, what a beautiful campus. This would be the perfect answer to homeless. That battle that these people are having out here, they're going to all the wrong places, don't look like they're getting any answers.
Reverend Fuzz says the school is on a bus line and it would be a great neighborhood for community members to also volunteer.
If we don't provide or create affordable housing, it will create itself.
Fuzz, who's been battling cancer, took his suggestion to Metro Council Tuesday night, where he says he's gotten widespread support so far.
We're having a discussion about $3 billion for a football stadium. Let's have a discussion about alleviating homelessness.
I asked Metro's Homeless Impact Division if they'll consider using this location since we don't have enough affordable housing online yet and ground hasn't been broken on a new homeless center planned next month. A spokesperson tells me in a statement, we remain open to opportunities that can lead to housing options for our unhoused neighbors.